Alright, you read the title. We gotta talk about it. My name's Hundo. I'm a rap artist out of Denver, Colorado. I'm here to basically talk about Dax and Dax's career. The relevance of this is I've been a rapper since sixth grade, roughly 16 years or so. So I've been in the game a long time, and I've seen a lot of rappers come and go. Dax is one that excites me because I first saw him come up on YouTube probably a couple years ago. He started posting some one-take videos. I can't remember exactly how I got onto his channel, but I thought, this guy's pretty good. He's got good energy, got good flow, good, What I saw that was the most impressive to me was probably his work ethic and his willingness to just get out there and kill some videos. At first, I really didn't think that his flow was all that, insane. It really still isn't all that insane. It's not like he ever really raps super tricky or super fast or anything, but nonetheless, I saw some promise in the man, and of course, he ends up, taking his career in a pretty positive direction pretty quickly, if you ask me. I've been trying to come up in this rap game for a while, and I've had a pathetic upcoming, so comparatively to how he, in like a year, pretty much took his following from, I can't remember exactly how many followers he started out as. I think that's one of the important things to analyze is before he kind of started doing all this. I know he says he started as a spoken word poet. I just would kind of be curious to know how many followers he had around that time, and if he had 10,000 or 15,000, however many he had, I'd be curious to know exactly what he did to garner up that amount of followers. But either way, let's start with the fact that when he first started doing all this stuff with the rap and, with the law of attraction and putting his words out into what he wants to make into an existence, that's what the law of attraction is. It's just talking your existence into existence. It starts with your words, starts with a thought, and then it turns into your words, and then your words turn into actions. So my point is it looked like a real promising, dope, genuine, down-to-earth, super real guy, and I still think there's a chance that he still possibly is, but, around the past month or so, more specifically in the past couple weeks, he starts collaborating with more artists because he's getting more popular, specifically collaborating with more artists on YouTube. Now, why is this? This in specific is because of the whole beef with KSI and KSI's brother. Well, and it's kind of also with Fousey too. If you guys didn't know, when Dax was in the early stages of performing last year or so, FouseyTube has his whole thing going on. He had the FouseyCon, he had his event, and he had Dax as one of the performers there. And Dax actually, I think, was the only one who actually had time to perform before the whole event got, booted down or whatever. But nonetheless, that's kind of what started him in wanting to collaborate with, big YouTube things going on. And then you got KSI has beef with his younger brother Deji, okay? This is where Dax comes in and collaborates with that cameraman, I can't remember his name, Deji, Dax, and then what's his face? Crypt, which is someone I didn't know about until that video. So, which I'm glad that I found out who Crypt was, because Crypt is a dope rapper. You guys should check him out if you don't know who he is. But anyway, so he starts collaborating with all these YouTubers, and one of them being Quadeca. Quadeca, of course, is friends. All these YouTubers are friends, but of course no one's friends with Hundo, right? Just kidding, but seriously, I'm gonna go cry myself to sleep. But anyways, they do all these collabs, and the water starts to get muddy because of promotions. Here's where things get tough, is as an artist, you start to get famous, and everybody else around you basically expects you to reach out and bring them up with you. They're like, your following's going good, let's do a song and you promote it and help me get my following up. Which ideally is nice, but not everybody always wants to do that because people can be not necessarily selfish, but you have to work so hard at getting a following that you don't want to just, not everybody always wants to just immediately give it away to everybody else they can. But nonetheless, they do these songs. He does songs with Quadeca, he does songs with Screwface John, he does songs with Crypt, and he's done some songs with a lot of other low-key artists because he was selling verses. Let's get into that. Selling verses, right? He gets popular enough that he can start to sell verses. My opinion, I think he kind of started to take advantage of it because as someone like me, let's say I were to buy a verse from him. Let's say he's only charging me $100 for the verse. I pay him $100, he gives me the verse. You know, he's not going to promote the song because I'm a nobody. I can promote the song all I want, but it's not necessarily going to get a tons of views just because Dax's name is on it. It's just not how it works. In some people's heads, they think that that's how it's going to work. You can just collaborate with a bigger artist and they don't have to promote it, but just because their name's on your song, people will gravitate to you, but it's just not true. It's just not true. I see there's many artists that I can go to their channel right now who have collaborations with Dax and their songs have under 200 plays. And it's like, the name doesn't always bring the song up. But my point is, you know, a lot basically started to get seen about Dax's true colors through all this because, you know, he does songs with Screwface John and doesn't promote them. For what reason? I don't know. Maybe he thinks Screwface John is not that good. You know, that's what we've heard through the grapevine, but I don't know. Either way, there was no agreement for him to really promote the song, but it's kind of like a common courtesy. If you do a song with an upcoming artist, and they've got somewhat of a popular following themselves, some thousands of followers, have the respect of at least posting it somewhere on Twitter or something. You don't have to go all out, but at least post about it somewhere. But of course, Dax doesn't do that, and Screwface John has to apply pressure, and then Dax finally says, hey, go check out this song, and it looks really shady. And another thing is, Dax does a collaboration with Crypt. And if you go to Crypt's channel, he has a video about this and he explains the whole situation, but he does a collaboration with Crypt, and Crypt says, hey man, how much for the verse? Dax tells him $3,000. That's insane. That's my point. That is so much money to be charging for a verse, even for someone who's famous. Why on earth are you charging that much for verses? That's insane. I can't believe people take advantage of other people like that and say, just because I'm popular now you're going to pay me $3,000 for me to write a rap. All the collabs I do, absolutely free. And if you'll notice in Crypt's video, he talks about how when he asked Quadeca and Screwface John to actually get on this song that he did with Dax called The Four Horsemen, they're like, fuck yeah, dude, free of charge. Of course not. Why would we charge you? We're not like that. Because they're not all big ego-headed, you know what I mean? I understand that when you're looked at as a popular artist, you have to value your talent and get people to pay you for it, but at the same time, you shouldn't be taking advantage of a bunch of younger, unpopular artists that, you know, aren't really going to get anywhere with your collab anyway. So that's why if I were popular, I just personally wouldn't be handing out a bunch of collabs because of that reason. I don't, you know, it's a gray area to know exactly how much to charge you, and not only that, but the reason you want it is so you can get the promotion and the popularity, really. That's what you're wanting to be sold, and that's just not a product that most people are willing to sell most of the times. So the thing is he does this collaboration with Crypt. He sends Crypt the verse over, and it's only like 26 seconds long or something. And Crypt's thinking, how am I going to create a whole song? I've got to pretty much rap the whole time, and then you're just 26 seconds of it, and I paid you $1,000 for this? Mind you, he paid him $1,000 for like a roughly 26-second verse. So Crypt is like, fuck, dude, I got to invite some other rappers on this song to make it a full song. So of course he invites Quadeca and Screwface John. They all go in and collaborate on this track, The Four Horsemen. You can go look it up. It's a dope track. But what happens is once Dax finds out that Crypt got Screwface John and Quadeca to come on the track, Dax says, hold on, let me listen to my verse, because I don't even remember what I sent you, and I'm pretty sure I sent you some half-assed trash. And he did. So he re-listens to it, says, hold up, let me re-record it now that we're going to have more people on this track and it's going to get more attention. I need to make sure that I'm looking sharp and I'm sounding dope. So let me rewrite my shit. He rewrites his verse, and not only does he rewrite his verse, but he rewrites a diss to the rest Quadeca, Dax, or Quadeca, Screwface John, and Crypt. He writes a diss. He says 3 N-words on a song and a goat, right? Basically saying 3 regular Joes and then a badass goat, the greatest of all time, me. I'm the greatest of all time. That's why they wanted me on this song. It's so arrogant, and it basically says, to me, it's basically Dax saying, you guys are so annoying that you want to get me on so many songs and want me for my fame so bad, you won't admit I am the GOAT. I am the best, motherfuckers. You would want me on this song. You little average Joe YouTube rappers with your little YouTube fame. Ugh, get out of here. I'm the GOAT. You're average Joes. That's exactly what that says. So that's exactly why Screwface John heard that and said, fuck no, I'm pissed. So then starts the beef between Screwface John and Dax. All this is happening so quick, it's like hard to keep a track. It's hard to keep track of it. It makes your head spin. So basically, to wrap things up, you know, Dax's character is just not looking so good because he's just looking real selfish, real ego-headed, like he doesn't care about wanting to fucking make dope music and promote dope music. He just cares about trying to bring his name up to the next best level, which I understand that that's part of the ideology of getting bigger, and that's what you have to do to reach the top, but I don't know. I just, in my opinion, I don't totally hate Dax, and you know, honestly, his Fire in the Booth, those two Fire in the Booth, if you have not seen Fire in the Booth by Dax, he just uploaded it. That is, in my opinion, the most fire 2 verses he's ever spit. Like, those demonstrate why Dax really does have true talent, because he's a poet. He has an amazing way with words, very Eminem-like, with the way that it's just storytelling, and it's beautiful. If you listen to the Fire in the Booth, I guarantee you'll be impressed. I could listen to that fucking track over and over. And when I was listening to it, I was thinking like, man, it sucks. Because no matter how big of a douchebag Dax ever is, I got to separate that from the talented music. And I'll always want to listen to the music. But it's just always better when the person behind the music is a better, nice, genuine person. That's all. And I just feel like Dax isn't quite everything what he cracks himself up to be as far as the genuine, nice, down-to-earth human being that he says he is. And, you know, it's just, I just wanted to make a video kind of updating you on what's been going on and talking about all this shit, because it's been pretty crazy. And if you've been following Dax's career, he's been going up like fucking, he's been skyrocketing in fame like crazy. And honestly, it's funny because FouseyTube ideally has done the same exact thing. But he got a lot of flack and he got a lot of hate for it, and it didn't really work out for him. But that's because he doesn't have as much talent. Dax actually has some talent with rap. And he's applying the same exact principles FouseyTube was. Look at it. Compare what they're doing. They're doing the exact same thing. They're obsessing over the law of attraction, and they're living so much in their words and in the power of their words that they're just faking it until they're making it. Fake it until you make it. That's exactly what it is. They're talking about things and trying to put things into existence so much that it just becomes a reality. And this is a real thing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that this is not a real thing. I just think that Dax and FouseyTube are a good example of two people who have really taken that ideology and ran with it. But the difference is it's been working for Dax really well because of the small amount of talent. But for FouseyTube, it's like he barely didn't have enough talent with music or something to make it all work, and it all just fell on the wrong side of the line and looked insane and didn't work out. So, I don't know. Interesting things to think about, guys. Tune in next week. We've got more stuff to talk about, and this has been another Hundo video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Turn on the bell for post notifications so you can get a notification every time I post a new video. Subscribe. We just passed 1,000 subs. We're hitting 10,000 subs next, so make sure you keep on these Hundo videos. Hundo's out. Peace.